Hello, everyone. Good evening from THiNC Institute of Design. We have come live for yet another live session regarding Uceed drawing. So we had discussed, we had put up some posters regarding the same. This is basically
Amazon Great Republic Day sale is.
This is basically, sorry about that. This is basically a YouTube live feedback session. So we had yesterday shared one question. The question you can find in the description box below. It has been mentioned. It's a 4-line question, which is usually kind of asked in the UC question papers. Now, based on that, we've got some submissions. What we're going to do today is we have with us our faculty, Mr. Shantanu sir, who is also an NID alumnus. So he would be taking you through in this entire session for this question. He would discuss about this particular question. He would also discuss about the ways in which you can work out on that question. He would also be discussing about some of the submissions that you people have done. Okay, so he would be sharing the screen and he would be taking through what are the pros and cons of the submissions that you have done. What are the various ways and improvisations that you can make so that your works would be a bit more perfect. Please do not hesitate to ask questions, queries, and all in the live. You can use the chat box to the fullest, and we would take all the questions and we would respond as much as possible. So without much delay, let me take this opportunity to invite Shantanu sir. Sir, am I audible?
Thank you so much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Shantanu, and we are going to discuss about, we're going to have a live feedback about a particular question that has already been shared with you. Some of you have already drawn and sent your work with us. We have your work with us. We are going to speak about few works individually, and we are going to discuss about few things, that can quickly done to improve your current existing skills, or probably if you can improve on something quickly, or probably the expectations from the jury panel or the mentors, those are there for your entrance exams. So so we are going to look into some of the questions. I will also discuss about a few of the things that should do and should not to be done. So I'll, without any further delay, I'll share my screen with you. And please, guys, like the host has also mentioned, please do not hesitate and don't be shy about asking any kind of a question. Please feel free to ask me any question, and I will try to definitely resolve it. Okay, so yes, so let's work with the the Uceed questions right now. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me know if it is properly visible to you. Okay, so Uceed has it has only one particular drawing questions. Okay, so it has a particular, you will get one drawing question, and probably the constraint is time, and along with that you have to show certain skills that you have. Those are observations, your imagination power, your creative analytical abilities, and your physical skills that through which you draw and represent your ideas. So there are a lot of things that you have to narrow it down in within 30 minutes, and how creatively you can work on it. Now there is a particular question in front of us, so I will just read it out. So generally in UC exams, they would create a certain rendition or a certain situation in front of you, and they would expect you to draw your imaginative or your visualization on the basis of the description that they have given. Okay, so this is a particular question that I'm just going to read out, and we are going to discuss about it. Now you're sitting in a well ventilated drawing room. It is 9 a.m. in the morning, and sunlight is streaming through the window on the east, casting shadow on the floor. The cat is resting on one of the sunlit patches. A newspaper is placed beside a cup of hot tea on a small side table. There are 3 freshly watered potted plants in the room, one on the floor and 2 on the window sill, with the watering jug next to it. Now, from above descriptions, sketch the scene from your point of view. Okay, first of all, spend at least a minute or two like getting and reading the questions very properly. Okay, sometimes we misjudge a lot of information, and with a haste and with a rush, we lose a lot of information while we are drawing things. Okay, so first of all, like make sure that you're categorizing things. I'll just put a new layer and I'll try to draw it for you. Okay, so basically there are a lot of things, we misjudge and we don't work on it. So whenever it comes to in front of you, try to like develop, understand, and think the context of it first of all. Okay, so basically what will be your evaluation criteria? So that is your observation power. Okay, like how are you able to create that flavor of daily routine, daily culture of that you go through it, and your observation skills and your observation powers that can be shown through your work or through your sketches. How do you relate to the real life situations and bring that flavor into your drawings? So that is what is your observation skill, like timing, lighting, and like how the sense of scale and proportion that comes with the observation power. Next is imagination, like how imaginative you are, like like being you introduced to such a random situation or probably such a surprising situation. Sometimes you have faced it, sometimes you might not have. So how do you create that that scene from your imagination? How are you able to bring that particular composition that that you must have witnessed in your real life? So how are you trying, how are you able to bring those clues down to a certain thing? Okay, selection and composition objects. So now we also, so this question is specifically, it's not just about creativity. Okay, it's not just about imagination, but your planning skills. Okay, so this is what generally will need a lot. So you are able to do it in 30 minutes. So whatever the topic that is given to you, how creatively, how innovatively, how nicely you are able to execute it within 30 minutes. So are you able to handle that particular topic in a creative way, in a fantastic analytical way? So that is what the major task is. Okay, now you have to be a complete package in this one. Okay, so how do we crack this in 30 minutes? We are going to definitely discuss about it. So then the quality of lines. So like within this 30 minutes of time, how nicely you are able to deliver one idea. Okay, don't be too jazzy about it. Even like being minimalistic about things, try to avoid a lot of objects and things, but try to be more concerned about basic things that one can associate with. One has to understand, get the brief theme from whatever the drawing that you have done. He should, or he or she, or one who is looking at your work should understand that that your thought of that 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, your thought of living and sitting on that chair, how interestingly do you visualize? So don't be little you have to push yourself a little. Okay, apart from being so safe, don't play too safe with certain things. You have to push your imagination a bit further, and that is what gonna improve your presentation skills. How do you represent that entire view? That is the task. Okay, then now probably Uceed pays a lot of attention to like your eye for details. They expect you to have a sensibility toward more detailing. Like like suppose if you are drawing just object, don't leave it like probably if you are able to understand it, like if there is a light happening from here, you just are like probably just showing this much amount. Okay, this is true. So basically what is happening, we are not like getting into the complete shadow and highlights of it, but we are just trying to pay attention to the detailing, or the interaction of this particular object with light. So this is kind of a detailing that we are speaking of. The line quality should be like like probably on the lighter side, if it is light, on a darker side if it is dark. One already understand, okay, this is like a shadow heavy area. Okay, so this is how like probably you imagine things. So this particular details, this particular, attention to detail is, you know uh, uh, is required. Okay, somebody has asked a question, what is a good score passing marks for drawing part in Uceed? So I would say, do not pay attention to what are the marks that are needed for it. Okay, like 60 marks, at least you should aim for 50. Okay, so please don't bother yourself, like how much, whatever. So the first of all, it is not exactly about you having a fabulous artistic drawing skills. First of all, get it clear. So this is a design intervention, and one has to have the detailed idea about one thing, that is one is drawing. So you should be aware of what you are, you have to take responsibility, you have to take care of what you are trying, going to draw. So one, even if like doesn't have a very fair and amazing drawing skills, it's totally okay. But probably like understanding drawing skills, work with shapes, work with basic objects, it's still okay, it's still fine. You don't have to like get into a lot of detail, but be creative about, be smart about what you draw, be smart about what you think. Okay, rather than getting into how much marks should I, like probably then you don't get into that. Just don't pay attention to what all marks that I need, but I need to do good. Your aim should be to achieve what is the best out of it. Okay, I should give my best, and that is what it should be. Okay, and then like once you are done, also like orientation of this particular one, okay, is quite important. So if if you are you can opt for a landscape one, like whatever that gives. If a particular image is expecting like orientation to be in a portrait, do that. So first of all, compose your visuals very nicely. Okay, don't make it more interesting. Pass on your composition skills. Try to achieve, first of all, or simply what you can do is, if you are facing any difficulty while making the composition or things, right? So write this down. Okay, so basically what are the objects that I have asked you, write this quickly down. Okay, so basically it is a ventilated drawing room, so the whole context of 9 a.m. in the drawing room. Okay, so this is the basic thing that is going to happen to us, drawing room. Then second is sunlight, whatever, so that is just a situation. Okay, so east casting shadow, so obviously like sun rises in the you know east, northeast, east. Okay, and probably there is a window facing that light, and there is a beam of light that is happening. So just write it down. So that is like somewhere there is going to be a light patch, so it would be casting shadows. A cat is resting on a sunlit patch, so basically there is a cat. Just write down the information. Okay, a cat is resting, so first of all you are sitting, so that is another, you are sitting, and it is your point of view. Okay, that is the main thing. So a lot of people just misjudge, and sometimes they just draw that person who is like probably sitting on the chair like this. Okay, so don't do this. It is your point of view. Basically you are this guy and you are looking at the situation. Okay, so it has to be your point of view. So please pay attention to the question, read it multiple times, and then it would be easy for you to understand things simultaneously. Slowly uh, pay attention to each detail. Okay, now then there are smaller context as in smaller information, that is like very subsequent. It's just to see, just to have a clue about your eye to details. How do you make these micro compositions within your macro kind of a layout. So suppose this is a layout that you are doing. How do you guys compose, like how do you make this, like probably make the silhouettes really interesting in this one? Okay, how do you bring in that level of interest in this particular silhouette? Okay, like positives and negatives, how do you feel that particular area with your own interest? So this is what it comes to. So the potted plants, so basically they have given you three objects over here. How do you make a micro compositions through this? Okay, so probably do you design something on your own? How do you deal with these things, smaller things, but yeah, more important when it comes to like how do you associate, because the design of it, are you paying attention to, like the entire design of the space and this, so don't just understand all. And when it comes to such kind of a question, no, you can just make yourself, think of, as a user in this place. Okay, so just try to bring that aura. What do you like? What kind of a, pots, if you have in your room, what kind of a pots you would like to have? Okay, so just try to bring in that flavor. So always try to associate yourself in such questions, so that would also ease out on a lot of details. Okay, and rather than, what should I do, just start drawing. Okay, just start drawing. So there is some rough space provided to you. You can just try to make a quick rough composition. Okay, second is, like, most of the time they ask you not to render or draw, like, shade. Don't use any color, anything. Okay, so generally they make this criteria very specific. At least for Uceed, they make it very clear that make pencil sketch only. Okay, do not use color. So, and unnecessarily don't waste your time on this one. Read the entire information very carefully. Do not provide unnecessary information, never, because you just have is 30 minutes and there is a lot to do in this 30 minutes. Okay, so this is, this is how you can fulfill this criteria, and you can work on this particular thing. Okay, there are more questions. I'll just try to answer them. What will be the size area of the sheet we will get to draw on? Generally consider it as a A4. Okay, A4 or max A3, or sometimes it is smaller than A4. Okay, but yeah, at least consider minimum as a A4. There is one more question. What point should be avoided in drawing? What points? Okay, so basically, first of all, um, just a second. Okay, so try to not complicate things, first of all. Okay, so what you should not do is, do not create unnecessary complications. Like, sometimes, it's just like, we feel like adding a lot of things. Add only the things that makes any sense. Okay, or makes importance. Like you have already given with the context, that is a drawing room. Only try to draw, like what it will, try to make it as a drawing room. Okay, not provide unnecessary information. Don't go adding bed to it, like probably dining table and all, a lot of people. Just try to avoid that information. So in just like to the point, Chris, just provide whatever the information that is necessary. Try to avoid, like, a lot of people try to show that, like it is 8 p.m, like you don't have to be literal also. Like you don't have to show 9 a.m. You can, there are a lot of ways to show 9 a.m. Okay, like probably, you can show a particular light, amount of light that is coming. There can be a, wall clock in the house that shows 9 a.m. You don't have to like show unnecessary a wristwatch, probably just to, you know um, uh, so I getting it. So these are like unnecessary complications, so you can avoid that. Okay, next is like when you're sketching, right? Don't try to sketch like this. Don't be messy with your sketches. So whole idea is, first of all, if you are not confident, try to get everything done like this. Okay, light drawings, just try to achieve something as light drawings, and then like once you are done is like you can confidently go with the darker drawings to it. Okay, so this is something you can work on. Definitely we are gonna have feedback over the drawings that some of you guys have sent. I'm gonna speak about all of this in a lot of details, but yeah, so we don't have to like work on a lot of things. It just very quickly, very few. Okay, there is one more question. Is shading important or early sketching is enough? See, there is a difference between just sketching and shading. Okay, so shading is like probably we are just like putting values everywhere. So if there is a light, no, we are not, we don't want to do that. Like suppose if this is a cup, okay, cup of coffee or whatever, and this is the handle of it. Okay, and there is a light. So see, basically I'm just showing this. So this is not a shading, this is just I'm trying to show interaction with light. Okay, So getting it. So there is a difference between, so this is me opting a smarter way, just trying to depict like where the shadow is going to be. Okay, rather I'm not paying a lot of attention, like shading, then it light, okay, then light. No, we don't want to do that. It just show shadows, that is good enough. Okay, there are only two values: highlight, light, and shadow. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so I don't want to show a lot of details, like even like whatever, even the figures that you are drawing, I don't even want to like get into a lot of details. Probably, just something like this. Okay, so see, this is already a shadow. Draw, guys, bald, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to go and draw every single hair on his head. You don't have to do that. Okay, that is unnecessary. With all we need human figures is just to provide the sense of, that like it is that relativity that you are able to create with sense of scale and proportion. Okay. So shading is not necessary. You don't have to go and draw shade the entire thing. Just the interaction of, if this is light, okay, so shadow, good enough. Okay, this is the shadow it is showing, casted shadow by this object. Done. Okay, so that is good enough. There is one more question: is it necessary to cover whole sheet? Like we can draw in a little more than half of the page. Okay, now this is part of a composition. Okay, like I would just try to just draw it quickly over here. I'll just do one thing. I'll take your questions and I'll draw it over here now. Just give me a moment. Just a second, guys. Okay. Some of you has asked me a question, that is it necessary to cover a whole sheet? Like we can draw a little more than half a page. Now see, it's a task of your composition skills. Okay, like suppose like this is this. I'm just quickly going to talk about it. Okay. Suppose now, okay, like I'll just draw it some random scene. Okay, I'm not gonna get into the exact thing. Okay, like suppose this is something. This is a road. Probably this is a figure that I wish to draw. Okay, like probably there is a tree, maybe. See, I'm not drawing, I'm not bothered to draw about, like I will keep it blank white. It doesn't matter, like probably just add something over here like as an interaction. Probably maybe there are some leaves probably which are closer. Okay, done. So I so getting it. So it can be a part of your composition skills. How do you create that sensibility? Okay, so you don't have to completely leave it blank, but now this can be a part of your, like it is a white, this white space is a part of your drawing. Okay, rather than just don't draw it like this much. Okay, so it's a waste of space. It is like it is a no so it is a bad management probably of the space. Okay, rather than use it nicely, if it is a silhouette, like use them, like probably something like this. Maybe now, fine. So now this entirely space is negative, but yeah, probably this is a sky. Leave it white. Okay, probably just done. So this is, now it is obviously it is in sky. So like we are just interacting with the thought. Okay, sunrise and shadow. Yes, that is fine. Can you please attempt this question step by step? You what are some must things? Yeah, what are some okay? We are anyway gonna draw another question. Okay, so we will just answer like we will see things like to do's and not to do when we are when we are working with the other question. We will speak about that question and we will try to draw after the individual feedback. Is that fine? Okay. what are the some must things to practice for drawing? Yes. So this is something, interesting question. So things to practice. Okay. So how do you improve? See, basically drawing is not just drawing, as in like it is not just mere like using pencil and sketching things. So as what is sketching, or like for a designer, how does it like work out? Okay, so basically design is something, it's a lot of things: creativity, imagination, and your combination of physical skills. Okay, so practicing things from life. Okay, so one is like seeing something rather than from images or copying someone's work. It is always nice to see and draw. Okay, so basically do live drawings. Okay, observe and then draw. So basically it also improves your observation skills. Try to keep on challenging yourself. That is, after a while start sketching with pen once you have the enough confidence with pencil. So why pen is basically you can't rub or erase pen. Okay, so whatever that line that you're gonna draw, you're gonna observe it first of all very properly, because you can't erase, so you're gonna pay attention. So indirectly your observation skills and basically eye for detail is gonna improve. Okay, so that is one thing. Everyday practice, straight lines, ellipses, okay, concentric circles, okay, like clockwise, anti-clockwise. Okay, this is something that you can do. Next is like put a dot maybe. Okay, try to pass on lines through it. Okay, so this actually builds a lot of confidence. Think of what you are drawing. Like suppose even if you want to like draw a line, straight line. Okay, think of like this. Okay, so think of straight line. Now you want to draw a parallel line. Sorry, extremely sorry guys. Now even if you want to draw a parallel line to this, like something, just think of, like I want to draw something like this and then draw. If it is a vertical line, think of a vertical line and then draw. If it is circle, think of a circle and then draw it. So basically it's a hand to mind coordination is very important. Okay, so the work like this, it will definitely gonna sort out for you. Practice this, like practice a lot of directional ellipses. So try to work on this. Okay, practice your perspective drawings, practice your perspective sketches. That improves a lot of things. Basically, at least, I know it is very difficult for you, but there is a golden number. It's called 60. Okay, you should practice 60 sketches a day. Okay, this is what is saying, like for a designer colleges or all the designers. So basically this is what is and now sketching is not drawing. Basically, we are not drawing like, like each individual. So sketchings are fast. They're meant to teach you. So they're meant to, like learn from it. Like suppose like this is how a sketch should be. Like we are just trying to learn things from it. So it has to be quick. Okay, so this is something like if you are sketching vehicles or you're sketching anything, it has to be quick. Okay, okay, so okay, so it has to be a practice sketches. They have to be quick, whatever it is. So this is how you, so here the idea is that you learn a lot of things. Okay, learn to improve observation and mostly the things. Okay, so this is what is okay. Do we draw do we have to draw margin? Not necessary, because most of the time, see, if they give you a blank sheet, then it makes a sense to draw a margin. Like suppose if you have a entire sheet like this, okay, entire blank white page, okay, then obviously you draw some margin. Okay, even if you don't draw it physically, let's try to have some indirect margin like this. Okay, so this is what my sketch is gonna look like. So what I've done is like this is an indirect margin. I'm purposely leaving some space out of this, or simply you can take, draw whatever like border. That is also okay. Margin is nice. Actually, it gives audience's eye pulls it inside and keeps it inside. This particular buffer space gives something interesting to look forward to it. Okay. Should some pursue just what I was okay. It is very hard for me to complete my sketch in 30 minutes. What should I do in these last few days too? Okay, try to increase your pace. Probably is by sketching one question many times. Okay, like probably if you are solving this question now, okay, the whole idea is try to draw one thing over the period over and over. So basically, see, like movement, if I'm able to draw this in one minute, see, like if I'm able to like make the gesture of a car in 1 minute, like this is my learning over here. I'm just giving you very simple and random examples, okay, just to understand. Okay, so this is a car probably. Okay, so next time when I draw it, like it should be better and it should be faster. Okay, so probably no, not necessary it has to be that only, but just a second, I'll make my sketch quick. And so probably this is how all I have to show is a car. I don't, car is car, like, you know, like one should understand it is a car. So within 30 seconds, one can't like draw all the engine and things, right? So it's the same thing. All we have to do is like we have to, so definitely this second approach has to be faster than this one. So these are the gesture sketches. Fine. So it will also improve your line quality because now you know what to draw. So repeat the question. Okay, like when obviously when you're practicing, repeat the same question, try to draw multiple times. Also you get better design ideas, and you know, your design abilities also do improve a lot. So take one question and draw it once quite some time, like at least 2 to 3 times. Should someone pursue B design if he is not a very good at sketching? Definitely yes, because sketching is basically a representation skill. Okay, now representation skill can be anything. Okay, like probably it can be a photograph, not necessarily. If you go for a photography design, if you go for, you know, product design, or like if you go for a furniture design, there are a lot of ways that, you know, that your work can be improved. And obviously sketching is very important because that is a first primitive thing that, you know, you start with pencil and paper. So obviously sketching is very important, but don't worry, sketching will improve because you will have to rely on it a lot. Okay, and it will improve with time, don't worry about that. Okay, didn't new blank sketch also works? Thanks, I have been wasting enough time. Yeah, so see, basically you have to only draw things, like one needs to understand it is a car. Okay, so let's not draw a lot of things, but just provide the basic information that one understands things. Okay, uh, how can we decide which point perspective to use for composing a scene? Okay, so that is a very interesting question. Now suppose if you have a question that is like also speaks about quite dramatic, you know, like, you know, something like a Spider-Man event, go for a 3-point perspective. If you think any kind of a question can be drawn in 1-point perspective or a 2-point perspective. Okay, so unnecessarily getting into complex and time consuming thing for by a 3-point perspective, just simply go for a 1-point perspective or 2-point. Only while you are doing 1-point perspective, a lot of people, you know, just draw like this. Okay, they either draw, if they have to draw a desk, they would draw this. Okay, computer and like my desk, my room. Okay, they just do it like this. So don't do this. This is like big no. Okay, try to still make a interesting viewport out of this. We have already like, you know, remember, like we have discussed some of you during our sessions, like how you can quickly compose your layouts. Okay, just do this, distribute this particular grid. Okay, like something like in 1/3. So this is how I distribute my visual page. Okay, so now wherever, like I can put my vanishing line horizon anywhere in 1/3. Never put my horizon lines in the center. Okay, never put them over here. It will break out into two different distinct patches, and it makes it look very stationary, very stagnant. So rather than keep it in 1/3, okay, like this can be your horizon line, or till this point it can go, don't go too down as well. For if you are drawing it over here, till this and this is fine. And you can use this, actually this points as your vanishing points, okay, like when you are doing 1 point perspective. So if your drawing is over here, obviously see it is gonna make more dynamic, because there will be more eye movement that will have needed to be done. It would be more interactive. Okay, so please place your 1 point perspective, like when you are using 1 point perspective, please don't, never put your vanishing point and the center, don't draw it like this. At least take it, you know, like uh, 1/3 at the side and then draw it. Okay, this is how you can make your compositions and sketches look at least more interesting. If nothing, be smart about it, about what you are trying to draw. How can we decide which point? Okay, we are done with that question. Like in today's question, it was mentioned that some old people are practicing laughter clubs. So I was able to draw that canteen, but was not able to decide where to draw the old people. I think it's time. Let's go to the question. I think if you guys have, I think we have already discussed about, you know, the criteria that, you know, that you need to work with the Uceed question. So we will discuss now with the you know, the question, and we will take your drawings individually. So we are going to select the 5 ones that have approached us first. So I'm going to speak about them, but I'm going to be very generic about you know, open about my feedback, so all of you can you know, get things from it. Okay, fine. So I think I'll just work with the question. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I think this was the question that you had been asked with. You were supposed to work on that. You are sitting on a bench just after a morning run. It is 8 a.m. in the morning, and the streets are empty because of the weekend. Okay, the wonderful aroma of tea and breakfast from the canteen, which is opposite to you, floods the pathway. In distance, you also see a group of elderly participating in a laughing club. Draw this scene from your perspective. Okay, so basically you are the person who is just finished the jog, or just morning run. He is sitting on a bench and it's a 8 a.m. So we have already categorized the information. Okay, so let's look into some of your drawings. Okay, I'm just gonna open it, and I'm gonna give you a feedback, also by drawing you know, things over here. And okay, just a second. I don't know whose drawing is this. I'll just read the name. I think I'll just figure out. Shruti Mahesh. Okay. Anyways, so we'll speak about it. There are I will speak about this one particularly now. Let's go over here. Let's see at the drawing. Okay. So first of all, you know, it's a very interesting approach, and the element that you have tried to create are quite interesting. You know, with uh, the elements, you know, that the flavor that you have tried to capture is quite interesting. Okay, so but there is you know, there are a lot of things, you know, a lot of elements up and down. So my vision is bouncing at this level and this level. Okay, so there are a lot of things that are jumping around. So how would I, and there I assume this is something like a bonfire, or I don't know what is it. So but yeah, maybe I'll just try to, it's something like a, you know, morning or a garden walk kind of a thing. There is a canteen, there are trees, there are people like this. Okay, so but what is it lacking is basically a focal point. Where do I focus? Okay, so you don't have to like draw all the things in a focus. So what you can simply do is like pay attention to one thing that you are looking at, maybe. Okay, so and that is it. So probably that is, if I just take this horizon line, or probably, so I don't know what kind of a perspective it is going to be. Probably, you know, you can work on simple. So rather than putting a canteen so much at the corner, probably, you can make it little far away. Drawing it like so importantly is not necessary at all. Okay, rather than what we're gonna do is like, instead of showing a lot of, so this is a mid ground basically. Okay, let's understand, this is a mid ground, this is a background, and this is a foreground. Okay, so we will try to not show too many things in the foreground, because what, it becomes too close and you have to show a lot of details at the foreground. So rather than this, we'll try to work in a very smart way. Okay, so this particular, now there is one object that is at the center and it is going to take the entire attention. Does this guy really need attention? You need to ask. Or rather than, it can be a activity. Okay, so we will definitely speak about that. Now also need to work on your little bit of the human drawing skills. Now how one can improve, we'll just speak about this. Okay, now it can be just simply one. I will try to draw some of the things that you have you're willing to draw. Okay, just a second. Okay, fine. So you see, there is a lot of clutter points, as in like there is no one vanishing line. Okay, so what you can simply do is, now instead of like this matching on over here, or you are trying to show a lot of things above the eye level, whatever it is, simply like if you're facing a lot of difficulties while you're drawing like this particular level. Okay, see, there is a lot of and the plane is going too high. Okay, so simply what we can do is, like, even if you're just trying to draw things over here, what I can simply do is, like, probably I don't want to draw any person or probably in so much of detail. So probably like this guy is like probably everything is happening from back and too much from the front. Okay, so probably this is the guy who is fine. You can just work with stick figures at the beginning, or simply like this is far, or probably instead of showing this too many details, and why can't we just pull them little like back. Probably they are over there. Okay, so probably this is how the group of probably people we can work on. So they're almost of your height, and this is how I'm trying to manage. I don't want to, because it's my perspective. Okay, so it is not that we are seeing from some building or some underground or sleeping down or something like this. Okay, so probably something like this, or probably it can be, and maybe this is how probably we can draw things bit flat, like we don't have to draw everything like so to the point. Okay, don't have to draw like maybe this. Okay, so what I've done is, like, I will not draw anything in this tree. Okay, I'm done with the shape, so I have blocked so much of space. Okay, so probably the canteen, maybe it is here. I don't have to probably just simple canteen would do, like maybe so that I don't have to draw too many details on this one. Probably it's a canteen at such places is nowadays there's movable canteens, right? There's tempos and things. Okay, that, so try to also cater to some interesting things. Probably this is how you know probably it is getting too tough. Okay, just a second. So when we are dealing with just like, suppose there would be people who are standing in front of the canteen. Okay, so we don't have to draw all the details of. Right, so we don't have to like draw, so like if it is a garden, maybe just it's okay even if we don't draw so many of details like this. We don't have to draw that bench exactly in the center. Okay, so probably it can be like bit of textures, bit of things, or probably there is simple a compound over here, or probably we don't have to think of it. Just you know use the perspective, interestingly perspective lines, so that can also come up and feel the areas that are okay. Or probably even smartly we can draw a totally different context where we don't have to draw so many of the details. Okay, we don't have to work on this, like we are just putting, see, these are the uh, like blocks, the values that we have to flood and fill. So you don't have to like go to so many drawing these details. Okay, this is just a simple idea. And probably the figures, like how you can work on the figures is, if you're facing like probably drawing this man. Okay, so even though like this is like, we can actually use the current context. Okay, you don't have to draw so many things. Okay, you just see, probably I don't even have to draw, like probably people are still wearing masks. Okay, we can draw actually good people, like who like wear mask, so that I don't have to show a lot of details. Okay, wearing specs, so I don't have to draw many eyes and that kind of a details. Probably just I'm not going into any texture and all this. It's just simple. Okay, like it is going to be so small. So what are details that you have to like, you just go to this. Okay, simple detailing. You don't have to get into a lot of details. Simple. Okay, so just try to not make it too complicated. This is a lot of information. Okay, so instead of this, like I can, okay, there is another guy, probably it is like very far away. Okay, so maybe this guy. Okay, so instead of this, now probably there is one guy over here. I'll answer your question. Okay, just I'll finish drawing this part, and I'll take questions. Or probably. Not every time we have to draw all the details on face or something. Now probably if I'm facing a lot of difficulty, it's like, because we have group of people, no? We have said like there are group of people who are doing this activity. I'm just gonna flood this guy. I don't have to draw him. Okay, so smartly we are trying to deal with this. Okay, so probably this guy is an instructor, maybe. Okay, smaller details like this has a lot of importance. These are the details. Okay, that is what we are, just like probably interesting things that we can. Fine, so something like this, get it? So this is what, like probably there are benches, because generally people would, they try to do these activities where where there are uh, you know things to you know okay, that is question. Like today's question, it was mentioned that some old people. Okay, fine. Is sketching required to be a good UX UI design? For UI, definitely yes. For UX also, you have to do a lot of wireframing and all. You will have to do sketches, because most of the ideas are conveyed through sketches. So bit of sketching is important for whatever the discipline and design that you are thinking of. How to manage the placement of each things in any sketch? Okay, so there is a hierarchy. We will discuss about that. So let's just have a few more drawings, like, and when I'm drawing this, I will definitely speak about it. I'm gonna draw my version of this at the end, so I will definitely speak about that. I'm going to speak about a bit of reviews and things. Okay, so now this one, your drawing, is there a few things which are not understanding? Okay, like I'm not understanding as in what is this, what are that, so this is creating confusion. Okay, so to speak about it, like probably if I go draw, I don't understand what is this. Okay, so I don't understand exactly what is this, so keep it clear. Okay, like what is this basically? Fine, this is still a garden, like maybe. Okay, but why so many things? Okay, so but this, what is this particular thing, I'm not able to understand. Okay, so this is what, so you have to be clear about whatever the information that you are providing. Okay, so this is unnecessarily one patch that has been created. Okay, so like instead of creating, if you are distributing it, distribute it interestingly. So this is like a primary texture, secondary and tertiary, that is sky. Maybe simply you can divide and distribute it. Okay, I'm going to have one more, just a second, one more drawing, and let's just quickly discuss on that. Give me a second. Let's have this one. So that this is an interesting one. But yeah, I'll also speak about this. What is that is happening with this? Just a second. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see this. Okay, now think what has happened is, this is very interesting and safe play, that too. But where is the guy? I'm not getting in that. He's sitting, and probably I'm not getting any flavor or any interesting thing that is happening on this other side. Also, this is going too outside the frame. So what is happening? My vision is going and abruptly going outside, rather than it is staying over here. So rather than, if this is a focusing element, it should have kept over here with this, so that my vision is going and this has been placed over here, rather than pull this over here. Okay, so what is happening again? It is fading, and my lines, my vision is passing through this. So if you are using 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective like this, right? So use it. This is a very interesting kind of a view that you have created, but this needs something complementary, that it brings the vision inside this viewport again. So probably if it is this, like maybe this can be made a little bit more interesting, and there's too much focus on this, so it doesn't speak of. So rather than like make a footpath more cozier, like probably like something like a marine drive, probably right two on the corner, this is very casual. It is a small one, it has been a like probably it's a part of a tree or something like this. You have drawn it very interestingly, right? So probably this restaurant or this canteen is over here. Okay, so underneath this, there is an interesting sitting, probably something like this. Okay, where people are actually using this, like random people come, they sit, interact at this particular place. Okay, so this is one, rather than being, so this is entirely footpath, not entirely. So the empty roads, now again, instead of that showing, like probably there is a parallel, like probably like this road is coming from here, or it is going something like this beyond this. Okay, and probably this is the footpath, probably this is like where there are a lot of benches and things like happening over here. So we'll draw it, but again, like what you are saying, roads are empty. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to draw it all empty. Okay, probably there is just one or two vehicles, or maybe just a two-wheeler. Okay, like something like the flavor of the city. Okay, or parking maybe. Okay, so that can be drawn, right? So try to accommodate an interesting approach towards reflecting any idea. Okay, so probably there can be a vehicle over here. Okay, like something like Activa or moped. We don't have to like get into drawing like a car, or like two-wheelers are generally weekends we prefer, right? Because so this very understanding of people's mentality, like for exercise, and people don't try to like get the cars and all. They just want to quickly, because they want to go quickly and come back before it gets too, and they want to spend time with you know uh, with this particular context also. When we are speaking, right, it is Sunday, and probably the guy, so you get to understand that user also, like probably is IT professional or something, like who doesn't get a time every day to, but what is he doing is like at least make sure that he goes for a jog, or to interact with his friends on Sunday. You can probably show a person, like a group of two people maybe, walking together. Okay, they're just this morning walk maybe. Okay, I'm just like assuming and composing, this is very interesting. Actually, this has come up very nice, but the entire placement of this can, be in a such a place that it creates that contrast, that case. So you don't have to like do so much of with the trees also, like, like this much. Okay, fine. Like, okay, probably like one big trunk, maybe like this, and simply, okay, like can be done. And this is getting too center. Okay, so rather than like placing the tree in the too much of center, or probably this guy is like, killing all the attention, no need to that. We want to place, we want to create the flavor of this particular time, like 8 a.m. What is happening with the shadow, be prominent with this. Okay, like what is going to happen, probably 8 a.m. longer shadows, but they're going to be diffused. Okay, they are going to be a bit diffused. Okay, interesting way of like there's two higher planes. Understand things. Okay, work on the line quality, straight lines. Okay, if it is 2 point perspective, obviously avoid two straight lines, so that they are filled with, have some grunge in the lines. Okay, like something like this. Okay, this is too flat, like a box. Maybe try to have some roof or some shelter on this one, or try to place some interesting elements to this. Try to make it more generic. Okay, try to make it more believable, something like this. Okay, I'm gonna open one more drawing. Okay, so that, sir, the sketches you are sharing, can you also share approx how many marks would it get, just to get the idea about judging? uh, So probably I would say this is still a mediocre concept. I will be frank about it. I will not say this is like reflecting the idea that I'm expecting. Like 8 a.m. probably, that flavor is still missing. Like the jogging person, like about the area of that like weekend and that morning vibe jogging and thing, it is still missing in this one. So probably this is, I can say, like, like with this, like maybe just 40 to 50% of, like it is conveying that to me. Probably, and it is too blocky. Okay, so probably it has to be improved a lot on the thoughts of it, the composition of it. Okay, anyway, I'm going to speak about it. Let's have one more drawing and speak about the review about it. Okay, let's work on this one. Okay, I don't know whose work is this. Mohammed Shamil. Okay, just a moment. I will. I need to expand this till the point like we are able to see. This is a very interesting approach. Uh, okay, fine. Okay, so let's just speak about this. Is very interesting, interesting perspective, interesting choice of light, a very interesting way that canteen and things. Okay, so probably a bit little, but this looks little bit forced. This particular side, you have drawn everything interestingly. Probably I would have loved to see like perspective going like this maybe. Okay, and that emptiness on the street. So probably you have worked with the half of the the criteria. Probably this is getting, she's getting in too much of focus. Probably I will place her here. She is still a part of the composition, but rather not, like maybe this is like too much in the center of it. Okay, get it? So probably there are two-wheelers that are parked. Like probably this is outside the park, and maybe this barricade and things, like probably people are elderly people. This is an interesting composition, but I would have loved to see like what is like there is another side to this, like probably the empty streets and weekend. We are not able to understand that particular concept. So that is one thing that I wish to. And very interesting figures also. Okay, very proportionate, and I think this is good enough to like work in the exam. This is interesting. I really like this, the approach that you have taken for this. These are the smaller things that will make it, make it look more interesting. This is very good. This is very good. This is also good. But like probably try to show a little bit of yourself. Maybe, like probably legs. I've been, sitting like this. Maybe a cell phone, like probably, like this is a bench. Okay, like probably, or probably I'm accessing my phone, and maybe I'm just using some health app or Fitband app, that is showing how much I have run today, or probably headphone wire of the headphones. Okay, like maybe something like this. So okay, just a second. Okay, just a moment. Like okay, there are some questions which I was trying to look into, but yes. Okay, so this is a very interesting approach, but I will definitely tell you like what I'll. Okay, this is interesting. Work on your line quality, just like like where it is needed to be straight. Okay, some elements can be a little bit emphasized, maybe something like this. Okay, some no parking boards and things like that. Work on this perspective. Try to give it a little bit of like interest. See, in real life this make cool because there are a lot of textures and billboards that have been pasted on this one, but now we are trying to make it like probably I would try to add some roof like this to this smaller details. Okay, like probably like this. Maybe I'm showing one guy who's actually also interacting over here, maybe something like this. Okay, so pay attention to bit of more details, but you have cracked it. Okay, almost there, almost there. This is a very interesting approach, very interesting details. I really like this. Is a smaller details that makes the drawing look great. Okay, but please work on it. I'm definitely gonna show like this when I'm speaking about what is that empty road and what is that it speaks of. So let's have one more drawing. I will try to speak about that one. Yes. Now, whose drawing is this? Okay. Anyways, I'll just speak about what all things that can be improved in this one. Okay. Now, this is a bit of whoever is drawn it, but like this is very generic. I would suggest. Let's. Okay. So yeah. So this is what I was trying. Like, don't keep a lot of things at the center. Okay. You don't have to do a lot of shading. This is too much, too heavy on shade oriented. Rather than spend more time on the composition. Okay, how are you relating this objects and things? Okay, so there everyone is looking at back. Okay, like probably they're performing some ritual. Rather than make interesting composition, like how can you make probably something like this? Just draw a circle. See, just draw a circle. Maybe this is how you would be able to understand. Draw one guy over here. This guy is also gonna be of the same height. You would understand. See, like this, because they have to at the end merge with my horizon somewhere. Okay, so this is how the same thing for trees also. Like like you can simply draw it like this, some shrubs or something. Okay, like this. If you want to draw, like just work with the lines. Okay, and this is how it would work out. Fine. So now this is very interesting actually, like you have managed this, but for this to understand, this guy is like really small. Okay, so rather than this, like, and it is happening too flat, like and it is from a lot above. Just a second. So first of all, when you are like working with this, what you should do is while you're composing, understand. Okay, like if you want to draw a lot of activities above the eye level or at the mid level, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it somewhere over here. Okay, that I also want to not show too many things, like details of too many things like this, but I want to keep it like this. Maybe I will keep my horizon over here, or probably even if I keep at this 1/3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like I'm going to draw it things like this. Probably, like I would opt for even 1 point perspective. What I'm going to do is like I would show that it is happening towards me. Okay, so like probably there would be, like don't go across your vision. So what is happening right now? It is breaking and vision is going away from this one, rather than make it interesting, like give a pathway for a vision, like something like this that is happening across your vision, somebody is in front of you, something like this. Okay, so try to work on 1 point perspective, not exactly in the don't keep it in the center. Okay, so this is what happens when it is exactly in the center. Okay, never keep your vanishing lines at the center, neither your vanishing points at the center. Okay, whatever it is, like 2 point, 1 point, whatever that you're working on. Okay, so be a bit more about this one. You don't have to draw so many things like this. Okay, this has gone too big, this area is too big. Rather than what will I do is like smartly I would do this. Okay, so you see I would do this and I'll just pull this so much. Okay, rather than I will try to show some interesting things in 3D, like probably I would try to show that benches like this, people are sitting over this and this, something like. Okay, so we will definitely work on this one, but this is how it is going to work. Show some reliable things, lights and things, right? So this is how it is going to work out. Okay, let's have one more drawing. I think we have already spoken about 4, right? I think there's just one left. I will speak about that. Okay, let's just rotate this. I don't know which way. Okay, it's this way. Sorry, guys. Okay. So it's a very interesting approach. Okay, very interesting approach. There's just few things missing. Is probably bit of detailing I would suggest, and there's a lot of things that are unclear. Okay, so and probably vanishing points, like maybe like it goes to something again at the center, like you're not have maybe have thought of it, but yeah, again it is going at the center. Okay, um there is a lot of confusion with this perspective, and this is happening, the barrier itself in front of your eyes, and too much. Let's not have this. No, it's not necessary to have a barrier, footpath, or like try to be more open. Like we don't want to go to such place for a jog. Would you go to such place for a jogging? No, we would try to go for like open space, like where there are joggers path, or maybe if it is beach next to, or there is a garden specifically, or probably in your city there are like good roads that are known or recognized for morning walks, morning jogs, like which is flooded by trees, so where there are no lot of buildings and probably structures, but yeah, more interesting trees where you have a lot of places, spaces to sit around. Okay, so that is what. Okay, and you have to be like you see everywhere it's the same level of detail. Okay, uh, it can be more detailed over here, a bit more, lesser, and the least, so that it is felt that it is obviously it is farther away. Only I find this area is to be interesting, like more interest can be created in the foreground. Now again, what is happening, this is happening like a television set that is you're sitting in front of it, rather than make it little bit more interesting. Okay, more interest can be pulled in this one. Okay, so this is what like probably have some, this is the interesting space that you had created like with silhouette. Okay, so let's just try to create this wherever it is necessary. Okay, get it? So this work with lines, I mean it is fine, like even though there is a half an hour, but still try to work with your illustrations, or we figured out that is this. So probably this electric pole can be seen to be like off. Probably this one can go exactly out of the frame, and we can just show the wires maybe. Okay, So that one is, like going out over here, but yeah, again, it has been pulled by, showing something, some more interest in this one. Okay. So rather if you're using 1 point perspective, bring it more, rather than this placing at the corner or things. So use this in 2 point perspective. Okay, maybe like you would find the greater, strength in this one. Okay, fine. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is like I will draw one thing, a few things out of like. Also, I'll speak about what you can actually do to resolve this question. Okay, so I'll speak about few things, and I will actually try to get into multiple kind of gestures or things. Fine. Okay, so what I'll try to do is I'll try to create thumbnails first, quick sketches, so that I will also tell what to do and what not to do. So let's read the question once again very carefully. You are sitting on a bench just after a morning run. It is at 8 a.m. in the morning and the streets are empty because of the weekend. A wonderful aroma of tea and breakfast from the canteen, which is opposite to you, floods the pathway. And now it's a pathway. Okay. In the distance, you also see a group of elderly participating in a laughing club. Draw this scene from your perspective. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is like I will go to like a smaller thumbnail, maybe just rather than final one. I will try to show you like a key sketch, quick key sketch. Okay. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to distribute it quickly. Okay, so I don't know what kind of perspective I'm yet going to use, but I just want to distribute things. Okay, I want to show that least important, but I want to still show that okay, there are no traffic today. It's a Sunday. Okay, maybe just like probably a taxi. I don't know what perspective that I'm going to use, but I want to show like nice plants and kind of things over here. Okay, fine. Just okay. Probably this is my horizon that I'm going to use. So this is like some interesting elements over here. I will widen this if needed. I'm just going to draw it now for the time being. Okay, so just move it this way. Like probably this is what is going to happen. Probably there are there are a couple of benches that are kept like this, like instead of like there's some interesting lawn patterns and things. I will definitely make this better when it comes to. So this is like something that it relates to me is like a Bombay Marine Drive. Okay, so something like this is very interesting. Okay, so probably there are a lot of interesting cityscape that I want to show. Like people have traveled away from that and I have come over here. There are very interesting people, they sitting on this uh, uh, the bank of the sea. Probably the benches or probably the entire wall, retaining wall that has been created. People are sitting over there. Now there is a canteen. I'm not saying like it's a full-fledged kind of canteen, but it is something interesting like over here. And I don't want to show a lot of details, but yeah, probably it has a menu card just placed over here, or maybe something like this. So we will try to definitely work on this. This car is like gone like tiny. Okay, fine. So probably there are some two-wheelers over here. Okay, this is something like 1 point perspective that like probably it's because I wanted to keep it simple. Now I also want to show there are like people walking. Okay, fine. So there is that elderly group is still left. So probably this is they are laughing around probably this particular space. And there are not many, but yeah, probably few at least like who are laughing around now. So this is my key sketch. Okay, this is how I'm gonna improve. Probably it has gone outside, but I'm gonna place it like why not? Okay, so this is how, and probably I will expand this, like maybe like interesting silhouettes and things. So okay, but anyway, it is gonna be 1 point perspective. Now what I'll do is I will place this over here. Just a second. Okay, fine. So this is a key sketch we have. Okay, let's not have this here. Let's get rid of this. And just a second. Now I'm just gonna work with 1 point perspective. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is basically, let's have the key sketch, but I'm gonna now start defining this a bit. Okay. Sorry. So I'm going to place my vanishing line over here, something like over here. And I'm going to, so basically I want to show a lot of things, a lot of activity over here and lesser over here, because I don't know, I want to show more of people, their activities. And that is why I have opted for 1 point perspective, because I want to keep it simple. And I also wanted to show multiple activities, not at the top, but more at the bottom, so that I would show like street kind of a flavor to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it somewhere at the 1/3 at this side, maybe. Okay. I'm going to show it something like this. Okay. So now this is a one particular. Now what I'm going to do is I will place all 1 point perspective grid over here. So something like this on the horizon. Fine. So this is what I've used. And now, just a second. Sorry, guys. Now I'll quickly draw things. Okay. So now this is something, a plane that I wish to work with. Now I will, if needed, I will improve it. Okay. I'll let you know. Now this is something I'm just gonna work with. You see, vanishing points. If it is gone to, we can just simply anytime pull it down. But yeah, I want to show more of this. Okay. Anyway, this has gone too far. Just let's draw a few things. Okay. So now I'm sitting. So basically what is going to happen, there is like, if I'll just draw it quickly over here. So all people are standing, but I'm sitting. So my height is going to be reduced a bit like this, because I'm sitting on a bench. So my horizon is still here. So people are going to be here. Probably that is another horizon. So what I'm going to do is, so this is my horizon. I'm going to get like fictitious horizon, like probably for the heights of people. I'm just going to manage another, like something like this. Just a moment. Fine. I don't want to draw and avoid, like probably I'm looking straight, but yeah, probably like here. And there is one guy who, or probably a group of two people. Okay. Maybe they are just walked. I just saw them walking next to me, like probably, they have come for a morning walk, like a couple maybe. Why I'm placing this guys first is that it is gonna help me develop my sense of scale and proportion. Okay, so no need to be more specific about it. I think they look like human. That is good enough for me. Okay, so now next is what I'm going to show you is probably, now let's try to block that group of those elderly people over here maybe. Okay, so they're quite far. Okay, so but what I'm going to do is, see, I'm not bothered with what kind of a detailing that I want to go into. I'm just trying to, you see, so Fine. So this is something over there, probably. Okay. Now this is a footpath till from this point, like an entire wide horizontal span of it. Like, and there is interesting, like pavement from which, smaller, they're not big trees, like probably, kind of a shrubs or smaller, landscape-ish kind of a trees. Just a second. Sir, is there anything if we draw in 2-point perspective rather than drawing in 1 point? No, no, it is not like that. Please don't consider like, using 3-point will give you a lot of marks and like 2-point will not give you. It is not like that. The idea holds the most importance. The idea, whatever that you are drawing should be nice. Okay. So that has to be, that is what, it reflects good on your, okay. So this is like a long bench, maybe, like just where people, now people are sitting over here. I'm just gonna draw a few things, like that will go quite far, but yeah, I'm just gonna draw few things. I'm just like just trying to show you how, just a second, there is a lag. Okay. Or probably now there are people, like who can stand over here also. Like you just, I also want to show some weekend vibe, like there are group of kids or maybe, have come back from school, sorry, from tuitions or maybe, just having fun over here, standing and, like probably some, so streets are, Indian streets are empty without electricity poles. So probably that is something very interesting, that element that, probably it gets the vibe of streets. So that is one thing. Now probably I want to draw of that canteen. Maybe that canteen is at this space. Okay, now probably these elderly people are, have booked. They're like probably we can make them little smaller. Is gone too close because I don't want to show a lot of details. Like probably we will place them like little over here. Maybe why not? I mean, we don't want to show a lot of details. It's just blocking. I'm just blocking out the spaces. You see. Fine. Now this is space that I wish to, maybe block for the canteen itself, or maybe, it just, it, um, so maybe it has encroached that footpath a little. Okay. Like you must have seen the canteens, right, on the footpath, how they are like, they're very tiny, but yeah, probably very interesting. The approach that they have, probably this is like a sled or standing sled that they have, maybe. Okay. Unnecessary smoke, just to show that kitchen is working, which is very bad, but yeah. Both side, like it has a both side opening, maybe, so that people on the road can also, why not enjoy the cup of tea over here. Like probably now I'm going to show a cab driver who is stopped for, probably, it's like a proper that Mumbai yellow black taxi, like probably. Just okay, done. I'm not gonna bother much about that. Rather, I don't want to show a lot of things over here. Okay, but I do want to show that there are, some of the benches. Okay, like this particular idea, because I don't want to show a lot of details on that car either. Something like this. Okay, maybe, or probably let's keep the, let's move this guys. I don't want them here. Probably I'm gonna provision for me to sit, maybe. Okay, so like probably these are the benches. Probably there are two sets of benches, like where, people can actually sit like this in front of each other. This guy is putting his arm on this bench, nicely sitting alone on the bench, maybe. Okay, there is another bench. Maybe there is a set of another bench over here, another bench. People sitting over here. Okay. Fine. Now let's just add few details to this. And this is the horizon line. Let's not keep it like this. I can show one guy maybe still sleeping over here. Let's just block out few ideas first of all, okay? So probably this is the canteen. This is his chartboard wherever he writes the information about, okay? So light is falling from that side, so I don't show light and details on this one, okay? Fine. So more trees that like over there, so that I don't have to show a lot of details on this over here. There's probably a guy or maybe a couple just walking over here. So more elements that would speak about in the morning thing. Okay, this is too empty, so we have some bench probably over here. Probably this is the bench till here. We probably will just have to pull this a bit over this side so that that we understand this is the bench we are actually sitting on. Okay, like something like this. See, something. So probably my phone over here. Just a second. Yeah. Huh. Sorry. Okay, so basically I'm just trying to depict things like this. What you can simply like probably this is one leg. Probably you're sitting like crossing your leg, something like this. This is something like a sweatshirt, maybe. So this would cast some shadow on your leg itself. So just trying to show so that it seems like it is overlapping. Okay, so like general tentative idea of things. Okay, you don't have to like revolve so many things around it. Like probably now the street is empty, right? Like probably there are some two-wheelers and things are parked like over here. More two-wheelers, just so probably people who have come over here for using this lines to, so we'll just try to switch this particular layer off, and we'll also keep on checking things. Okay, so has it been making any sense probably to probably here maybe. We're just trying to create the vibe of that particular space. Next is like probably if you wish to like draw shadows, like maybe like just this. Yeah, maybe. Light is probably coming from that direction. It's just quick tentative. Okay. And probably we just want to block this entire thing. Okay. Quick, because this is probably, probably this is a tree maybe. Okay. That is the under that I am sitting in maybe. Okay. So now see the moment you get closure, now it starts, probably appearing. Now this is smoke. I want to keep that smoke something, different, but yeah, let's play maybe this particular tree, get it some definition so that like we are able to understand there is a light from back. So I'm not spending a lot of time on, I'm not exactly shading it. I'm just, pushing it, just trying to show shadow. That's it. Fine. So somebody of you like have had very interesting elements when they designed this, like probably that probably some 3D, some neon kind of a light to this, maybe that would do. And but it is just write that very interesting way. Just a second. So this is another way that just a second. So how quickly we can create interesting elements about things. Fine. So this is because just a lot of things that I wanted to speak of, and got it. So there are a lot of elements. So first of all, what you should do is get the drawings, get the drawing clear. Okay, then you would draw rest of the things. Okay, so first of all, make attempt to finish your drawing, and then you guys do it. Okay, I'll try to answer some of the questions now. Sir, is there anything that if we draw in 2.5? No, I think we have already taken that question. Sir, are there any specific topic which we can improve for the sketching part if we are not so good at it, and which can be done in the coming days? Practice your perspective skills. Okay, practice your perspective, as in you don't have to work on the daily sketches. That is just a second. I'll try to share that. So when you are actually speaking of practice your line quality, practice more probably same topic over the time, once or twice. Repeat the topics when you are working on it. So probably once you are done this, repeat this question. Okay, try to, so next time when you will draw it, it will be with more refinements. Okay, so this is how you would be able to understand things. Practice your line qualities. So like how you can practice your line qualities is simply with this, like practice this like quickly every day, 5 minutes. This should be like your warm-up exercise. So like before you developing it, try to resolve a lot of questions. Also try to see a lot of questions from previous year's question paper. Try to resolve them and try to repeat that. So don't be satisfied with one question, solving it one time. At least solve it 3 to 4 times, or same even repeat that question. Okay, just draw it to couple of times. Your pace will also increase, your line quality and the confidence that that you achieve with something that will happen. Also the composition and skills that I was talking about, see that not everything that happens on paper, whenever you are not also solving the questions. Okay, be observant around wherever you go, like around like your city, when you go to market, be observant about things the way they are. Try to make frames in your mind. Okay, so like imagine this is the rectangle, this is like the composition, or this is like the answer sheet, or box that you have. You want to frame this. So not just in this, but also try to work with like try to keep making composition. Have this always in front of you. Okay, try to make compositions. Okay, this is, and the habit of doing this will make you a better composer. Okay. Sir, do we need to practice questions such as we are under the table and watching, or we are standing on top of the building for Uceed? See, I mean, one cannot judge what kind of a questions that, but definitely they will give you the questions to solve, which needs probably where the situations that you can rely to. Probably you have gone through, you have observed, or you are experienced yourself. So they would try to put you in such situations and will expect an answer from you. Okay. So there is no specific, like, like above the top view. So generally, see, more you see, they will give you a specifically a question that is something from your point of view. So perspective can vary 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, but yeah, probably need to understand that it will be through your perspective, your point of view. Okay. Or they might ask you sometime is to revisualize someone else's point of view, but still at the end the idea is the same, right? How do you see from your own perspective? So you need to practice that. Or from the perspective of and for UC. So again, 3-point perspective. So can we do cross hatching to show shade? Yes, it is fine if you have time. But first of all, finish the drawing. First of all, finish your entire drawing. Okay, then you go into the hatching or shadowing. So I would suggest now, see, like once I'm done with this drawing, okay, now I have a scope of improving this. Now once you're done with this, then you go and then you go and improve this. Then you work on, like, if you need to add like shades to this, or you wish to add something over here. And quickly, if you want to check, like, if you have drawn something correct or not, what you to check a perspective, just check your work in mirror when you're practicing. Okay, so that it will tell you, like, if the perspective is gone wrong, or if something is it's not happening correct. So all you need to do is, like, keep checking, like, whether the thing that you have drawn is correct, or whether it has gone wrong. Okay, so first of all, finish the line work, and then you go for whatever the hatching or thing, that whatever you wish to do. So the whole idea is that you should be finished with your sketch part. Okay. Okay, so I think that's it. If you have more questions, we can solve them. But this is how you can work on. This is again, it's a quick drawing, but yeah, you can spend like within 30 minutes you can create interesting thing. All it needs is, like, see how do you make clusters of it, important compositions. Like, so how do you provide that vibe? Not necessary that you have to. It can be very straight, very monotonous composition, but both the side, either on straight. And how are you relating with each context? Okay, so that is what is important. So YouTube would the Uceed exams will expect such kind of a details. Okay, your visualization, your analytical skills, like what all that it takes, and how the details that you are trying to show, the small details, like probably towards the shadow and things. So this is what is more important. So work on your composition skills, sketch more, practice more, and this is how you would be able to you can crack it very easily. I wish you all the best, and if you have any questions to you guys, otherwise we can call it a day. Thank you for inviting me for the session, and if there are any doubts, please go ahead, guys.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I hope that was quite an interesting and really informative session. I find that there's been a lot of really interesting, genuine queries that has been shared in
Yes,
the chat box, and a lot of questions have been answered. So we'll have a similar session tomorrow also. Okay, it might be taken by Shantanu sir, or it be different faculty. So The question, this is the question. We would anyway be sharing the question in our YouTube, Telegram, and Instagram platforms. Okay, so you can go to our Telegram channel. The link for the same has been shared in the chat box, live chat box. You can submit it. You can submit this drawing by either scanning this particular QR code, or you can also use the Google Forms link. The Google Forms link would be, it has already been shared in the live chat box. Okay, so we'll try to come up with different questions each and every day, and we can have such kind of a very good organic and very healthy discussion, so that it would help a lot of you. Okay, so thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. And,
most welcome. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Okay, sir. And to all the aspirants, all the best. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 5 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.